I'm going to use cryptocurrency miners to keep the greenhouse warm during the winter, and then I'm going to use the greenhouse to keep the cryptocurrency miners cool during the summer. This channel is kind of unique in the way that it has a few different shows going on. So initially these shows are basically like I'm writing a book in video form. But as we move forwards, the main focus of the channel is going to be a farm and food. Farming and food. So why farming? Years ago in like 1998, I used to get up on Saturday or Sunday mornings and like on public broadcasting, because I never really had cable, I'd watch a gardening show. And one day they talked about this type of gardening, which I didn't, they might have set a term for what it was in the show and I just didn't stick. But what did stick was like how it worked. So it turned out that it was permaculture. For those of you that don't know permaculture, just the easiest way to kind of describe it is you don't have monocrops. For certain types of farming, you don't have monocrops, right? So you have like orchard trees mixed in with like berry bushes next to pastures that you grazing chickens and cows and potentially, like, you know, lamb, whatever kind of animals, turkeys, you know, animals that you graze through there. And, you know, it's kind of segmented into different areas that have mixture. So, you know, you have this pasture lane here, and then you have the tree lane that separates that, and maybe another pasture. I mean, every property is going to be different, you know, and I don't have this property that I'm going to build this farm on yet. So I just know the techniques that I'm looking to do. And I've learned so much more beyond that show. That show literally left me with this, like, you know, you plant this plant next to that plant, and this plant fertilizes that plant, and then this other plant keeps the bugs off both of them, and, you know, you get fruit from here, and, you know, this whole thing. And permaculture is huge now. So, but that started in my head. So then, after this period in my life, I was working for this company, and so years later, basically, is what I'm saying. So years go by. Now it's like 2005, I think, maybe. Late 2005, maybe 2006. I had a job, and I was working for a company, and I was driving around, and I was always driving by this one piece of property that was for sale. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, oh, that would make a great one of those. And I didn't even at this time know the term permaculture. So, and I was like, yeah, and I wanted to build it there, and I wanted to make it like a college. So a permaculture college was like this whole, you know, concept that I was like building in my brain. And I didn't even have the internet at that point, right? So, and this was, like I said, about 2006, and probably about 2006. And, you know, I really did a lot of thinking about that and how things would work and what to do where and all this, with no knowledge other than just that TV show that I had seen that was probably, you know, like 30 minutes or something to this effect, right? So years go by, and now it's probably about 2012, maybe 2013. I've been on the internet now for years, but now, like, somewhere around there, I start looking into permaculture and start to learn about it. And I find like epic tales about like the Loess Plateau, where the Chinese had like one of their most ancient regions where their people had been forever and just trashing it, you know, just overgrazing and just, you know, just ruined the land, right? So they went in and they literally just like terraced and landscape, not terracing, not terrorists, terracing, the whole thing. Huge, massive. Look it up. It's an amazing story about fixing the earth, right? So then I started going, wow, and I found all this different stuff, like Jeff Lawton, I think is how you pronounce his name. And, before all those wars and all the BS started, they were working in those same areas that are just completely ruined now, Middle East, basically. Back then, when Jeff Lawton, before the wars, right? So I'm watching history because obviously, now it's like 2013, 15, something like this. I'm finding these videos that he was literally transforming deserts into agricultural reasons, just using right plants. Now they're also in Middle Eastern area. They're using salt water to grow crops in a few areas. So all this stuff just fascinates me to no end, right? So years go by, I own this video production company, and it's not making some kind of great life. It just pays the bills. So I'm looking for something to add to it, to kind of go hand in hand with it, get it to to add to it. So in the previous house I was in, I couldn't even have a garden. I did raise probably $1,000 to $2,000 worth of wildflower seeds in my front yard at this house that I wasn't supposed to have any, but I just had a wildflower garden in my front yard and then harvested all the seeds. So I wasn't really breaking the rules, but I couldn't logistically have a garden because of like how the property was laid out and then the neighborhood thing and all that stuff. So this is like, anyway, my video production company can benefit from a piece of property. So we can have outdoor studio, basically. Indoor studio, outdoor studio. So everything's a benefit. So a big piece of property though, the video production company doesn't really justify it, doesn't really pay. I mean, it might turn back around. It's been up and down. At one point it was just going up like crazy. The last couple years though, it's been not going up like crazy. So we'll see. And it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do this farming because it's really something that I want to do, and food is super important. And I'm going to document the whole thing because people can learn off of my mistakes, and hopefully they can do better on their own. The focus of the different types of stuff that I'm going to be doing, the goals that I'm setting, are quite lofty. So, like I said, depending on what the property I get is, that depends on a lot. Right now, I'm literally just waiting for my pre-approval to come through, and if it comes through based on the worksheet that I got last year, I should be okay to buy this place that I'm looking at right now. And this place I'm looking at right now, it has perfect opportunity for forest pigs. I don't eat pork. I haven't eaten pork. I've eaten pork like once, and I mean, inadvertently, because they put pork in freaking everything. I'm sure I've eaten pork more than once in like 30 years or something like that, or 25 years. But yeah, I'm just not a big pork eater. I like beef. But there's this pork that I found. It's called, I'm going to probably butcher the name, Mangalese. Gonna be raising those in this forest section. And then there's some other sections that need to be cleared out, and those are going to be vegetable gardens that will grow into market gardens. One of my main non-meat focused things is going to be hot sauce. A couple different, and growing all the ingredients to make this hot sauce 100% in-house year-round, and then market it right through, like here. Buy my hot sauce up here, that type of thing, right? So Now, my big innovation for farming greenhouse vegetables is I'm going to use cryptocurrency miners to keep the greenhouse warm during the winter, and then I'm going to use the greenhouse to keep the cryptocurrency miners cool during the summer with a system that can be turned one way or the other way to just move air. No air conditioning units needed at all. So that's gonna be kind of like a little test in saying, so as far as the cryptocurrency is, I think it's kind of a cool thing. It's probably going to be a bigger thing for a while. I don't actually believe in it wholeheartedly. Like, I think we just need to get beyond this capitalist, and all cryptocurrency is capitalist stuff. So we need to get beyond that. But for now, it's solves a lot of problems, makes things a lot more fair. But it is just a pig on electricity. I mean, like, Bitcoin burns like 300 grand in electricity an hour. That's not sustainable at all. But you got other weirdo cryptocurrencies like burst hard drives. Well, they just want, like a bunch of hard drives to be freaking just tied up doing, their little thing. And yeah. So anyway, I'm going to take that heat from the cryptocurrency miners and put it to good use. Hopefully the cryptocurrency miners will pay for the electricity. So that's like one thing. So then I'll have like year-round greenhouses that are heated greenhouses, and I can grow the ingredients for the sauce and keep that going year-round. Big bulk grows of ingredients. I can grow like tons of garlic and tons of peppers and stuff like that outdoors. But then there's going to be something that I need. I'm not even sure that is just going to be best to have coming in year round constantly because it's better, fresher, or something like that. I don't even know. But I'll have a greenhouse that's heated that's going to be 24/7. And I might use that greenhouse to like put like the washing place and something else in there. Okay. So value added products. I want to get to the point where I love smoking. Smoked meats, smokers. So I'm going to build a smoker for coffee, and then I'm going to have a smoke coffee sales. I'm going to build a smoker that for sausage and salami. I'm going to have a chicken smoker and a beef and pork smoker, right? So these will all be different smokers because you build a smoker for what you're gonna smoke, because it's all different. How, like chicken, you don't cook chicken low and slow. You cook chicken short and hot, okay? Beef, low and slow. Pork, low and slow. You might be able to get away with one smoker for chicken and beef, just depending on what kind of cuts. I mean, if you're doing whole animals and stuff like that versus just cuts. But really value added. The smoking, mostly other than like the coffee, it's just going to be like for the food around. The salami and sausage is going to be one of the products for sale. I don't know how long that's going to take me, because you talk about buying an animal, raising it up, slaughtering it, processing it into the salami and the sausage, and then smoking it like all in house. Right? There's a lot of things there. So the goal is there, but how long it's going to take. I mean, just fencing, to be able to fence off a forest, to be able to raise pigs, is going to cost quite a bit of money. Setup money. Building the greenhouse is going to cost quite a bit of money. These are the initial things that I need to get going on here. So then there's the other part of the land where we'd have, like I was talking about, pasture strips, and then rows of like food forest style. So would like have some like peach trees next to like nut trees next to like, I don't know if there's a super benefit to having, like all the nuts next to each other and all the peaches next to each other, but permaculture says no, says mix that stuff up. So that's kind of how I'm going to do it. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to be raising, I think I'm focusing on feeding animals really good stuff. So hopefully I'll be raising some of the animal feeds there as well. That's honestly don't even know what animals eat yet. All specifically, I mean, I know there's like feeds and stuff. So there's a lot I have to learn, obviously. So these rows would be, full of trees and berries, nut trees, fruit trees, berries. So that's a whole system within itself. And then like the market garden type thing where you have just like your standard rows of lettuce or standard rows, and just on a kind of almost a homestead with certain stuff, just trying to ultimately cover all the food expenses of this while documenting it all, making videos about the entire process of everything, and the food and the cooking of the food and the eating of the food. That is like a whole, so you got this whole farming thing, but then we're also going to do the whole cooking thing as well. We're going to show cooking, we're going to show the eating. So people are going to you're going to literally see this land that doesn't really do much be turned into where the food comes that then gets cooked and eaten, the whole process. So that's the goal. And I need your help to do it. Sign up now for Patreon. That is that's the whole goal. I've been researching all the farming techniques and market garden kind of farmers markets and all the stuff and house and all this, right? This is what I've come down to. And then I haven't quite come into exactly what I'm gonna do, but customized shaped fruit, like watermelons that are square, or Buddha shaped pears, or I don't know, there's a lot of little things, maybe even not a lot, but there's a few. I'm looking into doing this as well, so because it's a value added product. Is like normal orchards, they just have freaking rows and rows and rows and rows of the same tree, and they just do whatever they do to pick all that stuff out of there. But when you have focused trees and you like got this, every single tree is beautifully pruned, every tree is taken care of. I've even seen orchards where the trees were all pruned in such a way where you could walk up and pick the fruit off of them. Like they were pruned down low, so you didn't have to climb up in anything. And I don't know if I'll do that or not. I mean, it just all depends. I got to look into a lot of things. Having fruit that looks like something, I don't know. Maybe I'll make penis cucumbers or vagina peaches. Ah, yes, because sex sells. Food. Damn, it's so windy, the trailer's rocking. Yes, I live in a trailer right now, as you can see behind me. That you can see the video of in between houses. Okay, so that's the farming thing. We're putting together this farm. We're going to be videotaping the whole thing the whole way. Going to get a drone and shoot drone footage of it. We're going to be just taking you along for the adventure. So that's it. This channel has a couple weird stations that are books being created, basically, but really we're going off into farming and food, and it's going to be delicious.